O's in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from everybody. Life lesson learned, I better learn from this bitch, nobody. She pushed me around, she didn't give no motherfucks about it. She broke my heart 3 times, but I ain't getting...
Seattle Seahawks are traveling on the road to face the Atlanta Falcons. And this game is always really entertaining to watch between these two teams because they normally put up a good amount of points. And last year, these were two of the best offenses in the NFL, in my opinion. Now, when you look at Atlanta, one thing about the Atlanta Falcons, we don't really have to question how good their offense is going to be in this game because we already know that this Atlanta Falcons offense, they put up points left and right. They can easily drop 40 on you without a blink of an eye. But the question is going to be how good is this defense going to be? Now, the defense made a lot of changes, and I want to see how much are those changes going to, kind of come into play in this game because you're facing the Seattle Seahawks. This is a really good team. A lot of people consider the Seattle Seahawks a Super Bowl contending team. So when you look at the Atlanta Falcons, this defense, the thing with the Atlanta Falcons is that they have a lot of talent. It's just all about can they stay healthy in this game. And for this secondary, you got cornerback, you got rookie A.J. Terrell, you got Isaiah Oliver, Kendall Sheffield as your corners, you got safeties, Keanu Neal, who's pretty solid when he's able to stay on the field and he's able to stay healthy. His season got cut short last year. And, on the defensive line, this defensive line is pretty talented as well. You got McKinley, you got Dante Fowler, you got defensive tackle Grady Jarrett, you got linebacker Deion Jones. So, the Atlanta Falcons have a lot of talent on defense. Just that, can they stay healthy? And in this game versus the Seattle Seahawks, you're going to be matched up against a really good offense. Well, we already know what Russell Wilson does at the quarterback position. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's basically Houdini back there. And you got DK Metcalf, who is a physical freak of nature. You also have Tyler Lockett. Now, they also got a really good group of tight ends as well, which is when you talk about the Seattle Seahawks, a lot of people don't talk about this enough. All the depth and all the talent that they have at this tight end position. You got Greg Olsen, you got Hollister there. You got a lot of talent there. So, if you're Atlanta, how do you slow down the Seattle Seahawks offense? And that's simple. You be able to get pressure on Russell Wilson. Because the Seattle Seahawks, although they are really great and they are a potential Super Bowl favorite, they do have the same flaw and the same question marks that has been surrounding the Seattle Seahawks team for the last 3-4 seasons, and that is the offensive line. And in this game, we're going to see how improved this offensive line for Seattle actually is, because Seattle Seahawks fans have been saying this for like the last 3 seasons that, the offensive line is going to be great, the offensive line is going to be great, and we come out and we see the offensive line still not be great. So, this is going to be one of the biggest question marks that we're going to see answered fairly quickly. Because Atlanta has a really good defensive line, especially with the addition of Dante Fowler. So Seattle, we're going to see just how good this offensive line really is. We want to see if Seattle Seahawks fans are actually true in their statements about this offensive line being good, or we're just going to see if Seattle fans are just overhyping this offensive line like they do all offseason, which, that's expected because every fan believes that their team's a Super Bowl contender, and every fan has a lot of confidence in their team. So we're going to see just how good this offensive line for Seattle is as well. And also, Atlanta's offensive line kind of had some issues last year. I feel like Atlanta's offensive line was like, if they were able to stay healthy, they would have been a little bit better. So their offensive line has a lot of talent. Like, they have like an offensive line full of nothing but like first round picks, I believe. So they got a lot of talent there on the offensive line. It's just the fact, like, can they just get the chemistry down pat? Can they stay healthy? Can they put it all together? And you're looking at Atlanta Falcons offensive line that's facing a defensive line for Seattle that isn't good. Like, that's another concern that I have for Seattle. Like, they're not really good in the trenches. They lost to Davion Clowney, who was their best pass rusher last year, and I don't really know who's going to end up stepping up and who's going to be that guy who ends up giving the Seattle Seahawks a legitimate pass rush. Because the Seattle Seahawks, if you want to be able to win a Super Bowl, you got to have a dominant one-on-one pass rush. It doesn't matter if it comes from your outside linebackers who end up rushing off the edge, if it doesn't come from your defensive ends or your defensive tackle. Like, you got to have a dominant one-on-one pass rusher if you want to win Super Bowls or if you want to compete in this day and age in the NFL. And the Seattle Seahawks don't really have that. But they do have a really good secondary. This probably could be the best secondary that Seattle has had in a very long time since we saw, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, and Earl Thomas play in their prime. So, I mean, I think that this Seattle Seahawks have a really good secondary. You got Shaquille Griffin, Quentin Dunbar should be able to play in this game. Quadre Diggs. You got Jamal Adams as well, who was making a lot of plays throughout training camp for Seattle in a short time that he's been with the team. You also got a really good linebacker position. You got Bobby Wagner, who is now the best linebacker in the NFL. And you got KJ Wright. So, I mean, hopefully the secondary is able to be really good, because if the Seattle Seahawks have a really good secondary, that's going to help out this defensive line a lot, because if you got a secondary that's able to, cover the wide receivers all day long, that's going to give the defensive line, these pass rushers for Seattle, a little bit more time to get pressure on the quarterback. Because let's face it, if Seattle wants to win this game, they're going to have to get pressure on Matt Ryan, because as we saw last season, if you give Matt Ryan all day to throw, this Atlanta Falcons offense is going to absolutely obliterate you. I mean, this is probably one of the more talented offenses that they have ever put on the field in a very long time. And I mean, the biggest addition to this Falcons offense, I already know they got Calvin Ridley, you got Julio Jones there, but a big addition is Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley, if he's able to stay healthy, he's going to give the Falcons a really good run game. He's going to give the Falcons one of the best running games that they've ever had in a very long time, since Michael Turner, when Michael Turner was playing in his prime. That's how good I feel Todd Gurley can be if he's able to stay healthy. And Todd Gurley brings a different dynamic to his offense, because he's also really good catching the ball out of the backfield as well. So, I mean, if Todd Gurley can stay healthy the whole entire season, he just brings a different dynamic to his offense for the Atlanta Falcons. And one thing about the Atlanta Falcons offense is that at points, they tend to get too one-dimensional, and they can rely too much on the pass. And I mean, they are like a pass-first team, I believe. But I believe with Todd Gurley, if they want to win this game, I think they have to be pretty balanced if they want to be able to win this game. I think they got to have a perfect blend of being able to run the football with Todd Gurley and also being able to throw the football as well, because this is a really good secondary that Seattle has. And when you look at Seattle, when you look at their offense, I mean, we already said their biggest question mark is the offensive line. But aside from the offensive line, you got DK Metcalf, you got Tyler Lockett. That's one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL. Really underrated. I think a lot of people don't give Tyler Lockett the credit that he deserves when it comes to, being a really good wide receiver in the NFL. Doesn't really get selected to Pro Bowls all that much. We don't really talk about him all that often, but Tyler Lockett is really good. And you look at this Atlanta Falcons secondary, this secondary is pretty shaky, because you're going to be starting AJ Terrell, who is pretty much, we're supposed to believe that he is their best cornerback that they have on the roster. You got Isaiah Oliver and Kendall Sheffield. Those guys are going to be stepping in as well. And it's pretty shaky because you lost Desmond Trufant, who was their best cornerback last year, who now plays for the Detroit Lions. He signed the Lions in free agency. So, I mean, I think that this Atlanta Falcons secondary is going to be tested in this game. Now, can they get pressure on Russell Wilson? That remains to be decided. So, I'm going to take the... this is really tough, man. I don't really know who I want to choose to win this game. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say that Atlanta goes ahead and they win this game in an upset. And I know that may upset a lot of Seattle Seahawks fans, but this game could go either way. But I like Atlanta in this game because I think that they're going to be able to get pressure on Russell Wilson. In Atlanta, I just like what they have on the defense side of football. Like, everybody's fully healthy week one. Atlanta Falcons defense, can neutralize this Seattle Seahawks offense. So, I mean, this is a game that is really, tough to decide. This game can go either way, but I'm going to take Atlanta to win this game in an upset. I think Atlanta wins this game 24-20. So you guys let me know who you guys have win this game down in the comment section down below. And I know this is a really tough game to predict, but I just think that Atlanta could come out and they can pull off the upset week one against the Seattle Seahawks.